Hi friends, I have a few moments to myself because Aaron went and picked the kids up from school and they're at the playground having a good time. Insert picture of cute little Bodie. He has been loving the school playground because right now all the snow runoff has made a river. And so he's got on his little rubber boots and he's out there bogging around in his bogs and having such a good time. So I cooked this chicken up, and this came from a local farm, and I've been eating one of the chicken breasts because I'm starving. And down here, we are going to make up these tortillas, which I have shared with you in a previous video, but we're gonna go ahead and make those now. Also, in this video, we are going to see what else we ate this week. I'm gonna share with you all the meals that I took the time to film. I hope you enjoy it. I hope you get some meal inspiration for your home, for your family. I've been cooking from the pantry and from the freezer, trying to minimize spending money at the grocery store as much as possible, but I do have an Azure Standard order coming up this week, and I'm going to share that haul with you. So be sure to click the subscribe button. I would love to have you hang out and be a part of the Rouse Rising family. We share our journey trying to heal our bodies nutritionally, and we have a lot of allergies in the house. We have food intolerances. I have celiacs, and yeah, just trying to cook and eat and survive. It's a full-time job here at the Rowe House. And let's make some tortillas for the kids and see what else we have. I've got some leftovers from last night. We're gonna do some beluga lentils and some curried mung beans. You guys know I have that on repeat here. It is my kids' favorite go-to. It's like a fast food for us. I always have curried mung beans and the beluga lentils in the refrigerator ready to feed my hungry kids, as well as rice. We always have rice available. And we cook our rice in bone broth. So I'm glad that you're here today. Let's get into this video. All right, we are gonna make some salmon cakes. We're gonna do, what is this, paleo or carnivore based salmon cakes. And I'm gonna make a bunch of them and hopefully freeze some up for the freezer so I can just whip them out and warm them up as needed. But we're gonna do 2 eggs, 2 cans of salmon, and maybe 1 to 2 cups of crushed up pork rinds. We'll see. And then I shouldn't do this, but I love lemon pepper, so I'm gonna throw that in there too. Okay, 1 cup. Okay, I'm gonna do some onion powder too, for good measure. Lemon pepper in there. About a teaspoon of both of those. Some salt. And we're gonna mash it. These are really good. Highly recommend. Pantry snack. Sardines and crackers. Crackers. Pretzels and crackers. Hagen chowing down on the sardines too. And Annika. I have the full-blown tortilla recipe on my channel if you want to look that up. But today I'm going to try making it with all-purpose flour versus using fresh milled soft white wheat berries. And I noticed that when I used the all-purpose flour, they held together a lot better. There was a little bit of gluten formation. It made the dough a little bit stretchy, but it turned out beautifully. And I think this is my preferred method, my preferred set of ingredients for these corn flour tortillas. So definitely check out that other recipe if you want to learn the fresh milled way. And then this recipe, of course, is using the store-bought ingredients, which works really well as well. This recipe is super simple, and after I've made it a few times, I now have the measurements completely memorized in my brain. And if I go 6 months without making it, I'm going to forget. But I've been making this a few times a month since I learned how to make my own tortillas, and it really is a game changer. You start out with 1 cup corn masa, 1 cup all-purpose flour, 1 teaspoon of Redmond's real salt. I have that linked down below, 10% off for all of my subscribers. And then I'm going to do 2 tablespoons of lard. This is lard that we rendered down from the pigs that we raised a couple years ago. And I'm just throwing this lard into my 3/4 cup of warm water. And I was a little bit heavy-handed with that measurement. That's probably more like 2.5 tablespoons of lard, but it really makes a delicious, flavorful tortilla. When you are cooking, it is important to always use salt and fat when you are making your savory dishes. Salt and fat add so much flavor, so much depth to your recipes. So make sure that you are using quality ingredients when you're baking food from scratch at home, and that's just really going to kick it up a level. If you don't have lard, you can use vegetable shortening. You can try to use things like softened coconut oil or softened butter. I have not experimented and used those in my tortillas yet. I'm just using the lard and the water. And my child who has allergies to mammal products, she is going to try this out tonight and see how she reacts to the lard. And then this video has been pre-recorded, so I can tell you that that night that she tried these tortillas, she did not have a reaction. Praise the Lord. She can eat Mama's homemade tortillas without reacting. So I'm not sure that we will be incorporating lard into her everyday diet, but I think for the occasional night that we have tortillas, as long as she's not reacting, we don't want to overload her system, and she will be able to enjoy these tortillas with the rest of us. You can either wrap or cover the bowl, however is easiest for you, and let your dough rest for 30 minutes. All right, so here I have my 2 pie plates, and I'm gonna use these this time. And I'm gonna get my burner going back here. Get that heated up so that we can throw our tortillas there. And what I'm gonna do is I have a Ziploc bag, and I just cut the sides, kept it intact, and removed the Ziploc. And we're gonna take about 2 tablespoons of this dough. And we're gonna roll it up. And I'm going to press it between the pie plates. It might be a little bit more than 2, but we shall see. We shall see. And squash it. There we go. And if we need to roll it out any further, we can do so with our rolling pin. All right, so they're not perfectly round, but you get the idea. And then I'm going to throw them over here in my hot pan. hot and lightly greased pan. Let me back up here a little bit. Hopefully you can see that. We're gonna do about 40 seconds each side, and then longer to make the brown spots. I used all-purpose flour, and this is working way better than using fresh milled, but if I was gonna use fresh milled again, I would just take out some of the hull. Come on, tortilla. I'll get in the rhythm here in a minute. Woo! Just not yet. Going. I stopped the video for a little bit just because camera space. I film on my cell phone, if y'all don't know that. I film all my kitchen, everything on my cell phone, so I have like 2 terabytes or something crazy, but somehow I run out of space and I delete everything, so I don't know. I guess as good as mine. All right, all done. Voila. Got all of these beautiful, delicious tortillas that I cannot eat, but my children can. Delicious. So the first ones, the last one, we're just gonna bundle them up in here. All of them. Delicious. Family should be home soon. Close these up. Voila. Sorry about that, guys. Here I have the chicken carcass, and I'm just taking all the meat off. I put all the meat on this side of the tray, and then everything else, there's a piece of heart. Yeah, there's part of the heart that we didn't eat earlier, so I just ate that now. I guess I forgot to. I thought I had the whole heart out. These are the oysters of the chicken. These are like the best part of the chicken, I think, besides the liver. These little things on the back here, these little shoulder blade muscles or whatever they are, amazing. We call them the oyster of the chicken because they're shaped like oysters and they're so delicate and delicious. And just continue coming down here, and I just take all the meat off the bones. And then once I get all the meat off of this carcass, it still has like a whole lot of gelatinous bits and meaty bits. So it all goes back in there for like a 30-minute pressure cook. And then I'll take that broth out and I will can up that broth, and then I'll throw everything back in there and I'll let it cook for a couple of days, like, you know, it'll just simmer on slow cook for another 24, 48 hours. And then at that point, if the bones are brittle, I crush everything up, run it through a fine mesh sieve, and then I strain that off, and that is my bone broth. So we try to get as much of the meat off as we can in this process. And then all of the like chewy hard bits that come along that aren't very pleasant, or like the really slimy bits that I know we don't want to eat, we just throw all that in the pot, and that becomes part of the meat broth. And so we still get all of the nutrition and everything. I'm not wasting this carcass at all. There's way too much goodness in this one chicken carcass for me to waste any of it. And this is how I nourish my family, and I really make food stretch. So this chicken was about $23. It was pasture raised, came from a local farm. This lady at the farmer's market, it was her son. He raised and butchered chickens to make, you know, extra money. That was like his job on the farm. To make himself some money was to invest in chickens, raise the meat birds, and then his mom sold them for him at the farmer's market. And that's what we did. We bought a whole bunch of chickens from them. I bought like 17, I think. I bought 17 chickens, and I've been very frugal with them, but it's time to use them up because that was about a year, maybe 2 years ago that I bought these chickens. So it was time, it was definitely time to use them. So I put the skin and everything back in. It all becomes a part of the deliciousness. Bones. I take all the meat off of the wings. I mean, this bird was huge. This is a lot of meat. This is a lot more meat than I get at the store from the store-bought chickens. A lot more meat. So he did a really, really good job, and I'm excited for farmer's market to start back up because maybe they're going to be there again, hopefully. All right, all of that. I think I got everything. All the herbs I want to go in there, back in there as well. All the slimy bits, and now we're going to add a bunch of water to this. There we go. A whole big pot of it. Kids are home just in time because I have chicken ready to go. I've got everything to feed them.
Absorb the grease. Scrub the baking soda into the sink.
I am going to use this applesauce as an egg substitute to make these gluten-free, dairy-free, egg-free, everything-free cookies. And to make these dairy-free, we're going to be using this coconut oil. So I'm going to go ahead and get this coconut oil melting in the pan. I just want to gently melt it, soften it up a little bit so I can mix it in with these cookies.
It's so much harder now to reach
the lineup. We've got a vegetable soup mix of some sort. We've got some uncured turkey sausage. I gotta take the casing off of that somehow because it's cased in beef casing, but Hagen wants to be able to eat too. So if you need turkey sausage, understand it's cased in beef. Anyways, so chicken stock and this. And I think I might grab a can of tomatoes to throw in here with all of this too and make like a jambalaya. Alright, first thing we're gonna do, open up this, throw our rice in there. We gotta rinse the rice too. So we just go. And we'll do another cup of this. Yeah, Daddy's out there. I don't think I'm going to be able to take this off. I don't think I'm going to be able to take this beef casing off. Ugh. I'll have to make Hagen something else.
Okay, so far we have in the pot the broth, rice, the turkey sausage. We also have the mixed bag of soup vegetables. Then I'm going to go in with a can of Rotel. And to season this, we're going to use 3 seasonings. We're going to do onion powder, garlic powder, and poultry seasoning in the Instant Pot. And then what I do is I put the lid on and I seal it and I cook it with the rice function, and then that cooks everything together, and then you have a delicious one-pot meal that feeds the family. And then I've got to figure something out for Hagen, but that's going to be easy, simple meal for her. So there we go with the poultry seasoning. Thank you to the subscriber that recommended I get poultry seasoning. I never had this in my house before, but now I use it quite a bit because it is a delicious herbal blend of seasonings. So I forgot to show you what it looked like when I opened up the lid originally, but here we go. This is the rice and vegetable mixture. All the kids loved it and gobbled it up.
We have a variety of food intolerances in our family and diet restrictions, and this is what we meal prep every week for my family of 7 to have protein ready to go in the refrigerator. Back here we have carnivore-based salmon fillets or salmon burgers, and I used pork rinds as the bread base. Instead of using bread crumbs, we used pork rinds. Right here we've got a whole chicken that's been deboned, and all of the chicken carcass is now in a pot making chicken broth. Back here we have curried mung beans, we have black beluga lentils, and we have our ground beef. That's our protein for the week.
I saw a light when you passed me by. The reason why I shine, you're the reason why. I thought I caught your eyes, the love is blind. I thought I saw you smile.
Here, Hagen.
This is how you check to see if the seal is sealed. You just pick it up by the metal lid only. So you just find the edges of the metal lid and you lift. And if it is sealed, the lid will stay on. So that's how we check those. The same thing here. If it's sealed, the lid will stay on. So that's sealed. I've labeled them all. Chicken. Okay, then you just make sure that you wash the jars before storing them. Yep. And then you just wash them. Make sure that they're washed. So that's just a blemish. That's just a marker on the outside of the jar. So all these are ready to be washed and stored away. And that's how you can chicken broth. And at some point during all of this, I ate this salad, and it is mixed greens with apples, chicken, egg, hemp seeds, and then I used some kind of dairy-free ranch dressing. I believe it had gluten in it because I ended up with a horrible belly ache after this meal. So I won't be doing that again. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye.